Hello, hello. We are live for the Selfies to Profit Challenge. And so I'm going to wait for everybody to join and see who arrives. I am using StreamYard, so I don't know how easy it is to know who is who from the end here. So if you have a question, you can put your name if you want to. But yeah, so I'm just going to wait for everybody to arrive and we'll see how everything goes. Let's see here. Gonna have some water. Hello, hello. I see somebody. It's 3 o'clock. I'm gonna wait for everybody to join. I know 3 o'clock is kind of a weird hour. Some people are picking up their kids from school. I am here in Sweden, so I know that the time zone difference for some of you are a little bit different as well. So let's see. I can see the comments here. Hello. Hi, everyone. Effie. Hi. I hope I said that right. Where is everybody tuning in from? I know that there were some people who shared their story yesterday of what they do, and we had people from all over the place. So, hi. I can't see who everybody is because I'm using StreamYard, and it only says like Facebook user. Some of you have your name up here. So if you put your name in when you're using StreamYard, I think it lets you do that. But anyways, welcome. Welcome. Happy Women's Day. It's either Women's Day or International Women's Day, but it's every day, right? Oslo, nice. France, bonjour. I used to live in Belgium and I had to learn French, but my French, it didn't get very good. So, hi Rams. Nice to see you here. Awesome. It's so fun to see everybody from all over the world. It's pretty amazing that we get to do this from our computers and talk to people from everywhere. It's really cool. So, yeah. I'm just waiting for a little bit longer. I know it's 2 after. I don't want to keep everybody waiting for the training. Hello, Spain, Zurich. Awesome. Zurich. Yeah, I haven't been to Zurich. I would like to go one day. Very cool. We have a lot of people from France. Amazing. Cool. I love France. I do. I love it. When we lived in Belgium, we would drive down through Brussels and then go down to France and do wine tasting, and it was beautiful. Awesome. Cool, cool. So I'm just waiting a little bit longer before we start, just for a few more minutes. Yeah, how excited are you about this challenge? What did you guys think of when I said selfies to profit challenge? England, nice. I know there's a little bit of a delay here in the back end, so I'm just waiting for the comments to come in. So we have people slowly showing up. There will be a replay, so whoever misses the live video here, you get to watch it over again later. So I'll send the link for that. And if you have to leave early or anything, you can watch it again. So great. So we have people from all over the place. This is awesome. I love this. Cool. So, yeah, I'm gonna start soon. I'm just seeing. I'm gonna check to see who else is waiting to get into the training. Okay, I'm approving a few more people here. You would love to be able to take simple, beautiful selfies to share. Yeah, exactly. And why not? Especially now that the weather's starting to get better, at least on my side of the world. It's been dark and cold. And now that spring is coming, I can, take advantage of all the light that we're going to get again and take nice photos again with natural lighting. So, yeah, awesome. All right, we have people coming in. So I think I'll just get started with everything now. Um, I'm just going to check one last time to see if anybody else is trying to get let into this group because I know some people are coming in at the last minute. So, all right, so that's that. All right, so let's get started. I know right now, I just want to quickly say that even though we're talking about selfies and branding, the world feels a little bit crazy right now. But just know that when you build your brand, you build community. You also build connections with people, and the more you can bring into your business, like monetary wise, you can help more people because you have more money to help others with, right? So getting yourself out there and building your business and getting people to trust you and build connection with you is super important. So yeah, you're from Italy. Yay. I love Italy. I did a whole like 2-week road trip through Italy, but it was a long time ago. My husband and I did it for our honeymoon. So all right, so let's get into this. I'm just going to share my screen. So here we are. So this is day one of the Selfies to Profit Challenge. So it's all about growing our visibility, building trust so we can get booked in our businesses, so we can impact more people's lives, right? And so this is why I'm having the Selfies Challenge, because really ultimately it's you in the end who is the person that is going to be the one that's attracting people into your business and into your life. So, if you haven't downloaded the workbook, I'm gonna see if I can quickly grab the link and put it here if you don't have it. I did put it into the group, but the workbook will just help you to follow along, and it's a fillable PDF, so you can do it on your computer. And that way you can take notes from today. Okay. Have you guys gotten the workbook? I'm just going to approve one more person. All right. Well, the link is there so you can download the workbook if you don't have it yet. Okay. So here's what we get to do this week, or at least today. We're going to be talking about building your personal brand. Excuse me. Let me have some water. I get a little bit nervous doing this stuff, so it gets a little bit nerve wracking. But I'm showing up for you guys. Okay. So yeah, use your workbook to follow along for the next 5 days. And I want you to participate in the challenges. And if you do the challenges, one person will win a selfie starter kit. And just be prepared to learn everything about branding this week. So this is what the winner will get, which is a light stand and also a ring light for your iPhone or your phone. It'll work on any mobile phone. And a box of like affirmation cards from Gabby Bernstein. And I really love this card deck. It's great for when you feel like you just need some signs from the universe. Maybe you're into that kind of stuff. I am. So if you don't know Gabby Bernstein, definitely check her out. She worked with this girl, Michaela, to design these beautiful cards to just remind you of that you are a super attractor. Thank you, Effie. So yeah, so this is what you can win if you participate in all 4 challenges and, put yourself out there, right? So this is it. And so I just want to remind you that this training is for you if you keep saying to yourself that I know nothing about building a personal brand. And of course, I think there are some people who may be a little bit into branding and already know this stuff, but it felt like there was a mixture of you guys who knew about branding, and then some were like, I know nothing. So this is why we're starting with the brand clarity, because this is the part that I think is the most important before you can even move forward in your brand. And then a lot of questions were about like, how do I show up authentically? And I wish I had more photos for my business. And how do I attract more customers? So yeah, if you missed the beginning, don't worry. You can go and watch the replay. There will be a replay. Um, so yeah, so this is just a little reminder of what we are going to be covering. Okay. So I'm just going to give you a little background about myself so that you can see why I'm teaching this today. So this just gives you a little background. I know that you want to learn about the branding stuff, so I'm going to try to go through this quickly. But storytelling is really important in our brand as well. So I'm just going to share it with you. So I'm actually from Normal, Illinois, in the United States. And I ended up in Sweden in 2015 after living in Belgium for 5 years. So I've been outside of America now for over 11 years now. So it's been a while. And I became a photographer at the age of 37. So I want you to know that it's never too late to start something. I literally knew nothing. I always loved photography. I had been taking pictures my whole life, but I never believed in myself, and I never believed that I could actually make money from it. Okay. And boy, was I wrong. So things can change. And what started it all was that I was asked to be a behind the scene photographer for a video commercial here in Stockholm. And in order for me to be paid for the job, I had to get a business number. And I knew nothing about how to set this up. My husband helped me, and we kind of figured it out. So I finally did the job and I got paid for this commercial. And then after that, I was kind of like, what do I do? I have two little girls, one 8-month old and almost 3-year old. And I'm just kind of, new to Sweden, and I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. So really it was like a huge change in my life, right? So I had to basically start from zero. So I struggled to find clients. I share this story about me posting a flyer on Light Posts because it's really true. I literally had no idea how I was going to find clients. So I created a flyer, a piece of paper that I printed, and I even wrote it in English, and I live in Sweden. So, I was desperate trying to figure this out. And it was a cringe moment. It was really like, really, is this where I'm at right now? And so I knew something had to change. I had to do something different, but I didn't know what. And I started getting into online education and started learning about photography. Yeah, it's funny. It is funny. I'm laughing about it because I'm like, I literally thought I could put some tape onto a light post and think that I'd get like a qualified buyer. Like, who wants to spend money with me? So, I mean, really, that was the lowest point there, I think. So, yeah, so I really started to educate myself and like learn about photography, learn about business, learn about branding, and I actually had to, really push myself to to do something. So really in the end, it's all on us, ourselves, that it's going to move ourselves forward in life. So really that's the only thing I can recommend is just like, keep putting one step forward and moving forward in your own life so that you can improve it. So anyways, so what happened was I barely had any clients. I had a few people that I asked to photograph for free, and I started taking self-portraits because I needed to build my website. So I took self-portraits of myself, and the clients that I did have, they told me, no, you can't use my pictures online. And which was a really big blow because I was like, well, how am I going to show anybody that I can do anything? Like, I have no proof now. So with the few people that said yes to letting me use their photos on my website and social media, I used that, but it was never enough, right? So I started to use these self portraits. And so I'm just curious, what do you think of when somebody says self portrait or selfie? Like, I want to know like what your thoughts are about that. Do you think it's weird? Do you think it's um, vain? I really want to know what you guys think of selfies and self portraits because I want to shift the way you think about this if you have like a negative connotation about it. So let me know in the comments here, what are your thoughts about this? What do you think of selfies? When somebody says take a selfie, take a self portrait. There's no right or wrong answer. So just tell me what your thoughts are. And I'm going to wait because I know there's a lag time here. I think it's important, but I don't know how to take a good one. Yeah. Okay. Absolutely love it. Oh, I don't know if you're laughing at the story. Selfies have a very bad fame. Okay, yeah, but I really think it depends on what you show, how and why. Yes, exactly. Yeah. I think that that's what people think as well. Selfie have felt vain in the past, but I see the value now. I get self-conscious and see what could be wrong about my presentation from a biz. Yeah, these are all valid points, by the way, you guys. So there's nothing wrong with the answers here. Cool when somebody else does it, narcissist vain when it's me. Yeah, it's so true. All of it. But I think we need to change the way we think about this. Okay. So you're right. It's it's you holding your phone to your camera, you know, you're taking your camera to your face. A lot of people only assume that it's this. Sorry, it was a GIF and it should be moving, but I don't know. It's not moving. Oh yeah, that's right, because I had to put a PDF in here. Sorry. Anyways, it was a GIF of this girl, you know, Hillary Duff putting the phone up to her face. Yeah, so it's not vanity. I'm gonna just put it out there. It's not because I think that when you use it right, the right way, it's basically you're being strategic. So this is where I ended up with my self portraits, and I use this in my business. So it doesn't only have to be in vain. It can tell a story. It can be something that um, you can show people to connect with others, right? So it doesn't have to be like a phone photo like this, like up high. So if you start thinking outside of the box, you can actually make self portraits more unique and different. And you should just think about owning the fact that it's you and there's nothing weird about it. Especially if you are trying to, you know, do something like selling a product or service or business. Now, you don't have to always, you know, show yourself like I am here in my red top, but you can find other ways to do it. Okay. So I just want to give you a little background. This is my journey. I've actually been taking self-portraits since before 2006. This is all I had here in Sweden were these pictures of myself, but I've been taking pictures since we were only using film. So um, you know, I've been doing this for a while. And in 2008, I actually had an Etsy shop and I was selling jewelry. So I was taking self-portraits of me wearing the jewelry. So in order for me to sell the product, I needed to show it being worn. And this was before Instagram. So you know, on Etsy, you had to like, you know, you had your boxes of pictures and then had to upload those, right? So I had to take the product shots and the portraits of me wearing the jewelry. And then I actually owned a clothing store in Las Vegas, and I took self-portraits in the shop there to just show myself working. And this was actually before, uh, maybe just on the border of when Instagram was around. But I use these on Facebook. So when I had my Facebook page for my shop, I would share these come to the store and show them the different products. So I've been doing this for for a while. And then in 2015, I started to really take the self portraits for my business, for my photography business here. And so I've been taking them till this day. So I'm just giving you this journey so you understand like where I'm where I come from with this. Um, and so yeah, this is me here. I went to Chicago and I learned from a very well-known branding strategist on how to build your brand. And that was really what changed everything, was really getting clear about my brand and who I wanted to work with and what did I see myself doing in the future. And so that's kind of the story. So really quick, I'm going to wrap my story up. This is just a little bit of my experience. I have a BFA in graphic design from the University of Illinois in Champaign-Urbana. And I photographed the famed Swedish film director Roy Andersson for his Silver Lion Award. So this is because I've built connections here in Sweden, and I really found a way to network and just build my own personal brand so that I could get more clients. And because of me being an American here in Sweden, I've been able to work with an international community to come to Sweden, and I help them photograph their private tours and stuff like that. So, like I said, I'm a serial entrepreneur, and I've had a jewelry brand, I've had a clothing store, I've been a freelance graphic designer. So I know what it's like to be an entrepreneur and to navigate the world of business. And the last thing is that because of me building my personal brand, I was featured on the Today Show, okay? And I didn't have 10,000 followers, okay? You don't need it. So just telling you that, building a brand can open up many new opportunities for you, and I'm going to talk about that now, okay? Who was the branding teacher? Oh, it was Jessica Zweig. I don't know if you know who she is, but she found me on my Instagram, and I was like, "Who's this girl?" And yeah, I went to Chicago and I did this workshop with her, and it was really a game changer for me. So, and also I work with different female entrepreneurs, and I photograph their personal branding photos for them. And the last thing is I also work with commercial branding. So I work photographing models and clothing brands. So I have an extensive experience now with branding and photography. So I want to show you guys this week how we can use our brand with photography to just keep maintaining your business with photos. So let's get into the branding part now, okay? So if you have your workbook, you can follow along and you can kind of take notes on this. And yeah, this way you can have some note taking. So what is a personal brand? I mean, lots of people talk about this. This has become something really popular in the last couple of years. I think I started getting into personal branding even just before it was popular, but as a graphic designer, I already kind of knew about branding, but more of like business branding, like logos and collateral. So it just felt natural to get into personal branding itself. So really, it's just the way you position yourself as an expert. So you have to position yourself as an expert in different ways. And there's a lot of strategy behind that. And so I'll talk about that later. But for now, we're just kind of defining what branding is. And it's what people think about when they hear your name, when they talk about you when you're not in the room, right? But it's like a combination of a lot of things. It's like baking, right? So it's not just one thing and it's done. It's a lot of you. So we're going to uncover that. Yeah, so think of it as an extension of your personality and your lifestyle. So, like for instance, you know, it's like I'm trying to think of like how to explain this. So, like my personality is bubbly and bold, and how do we incorporate that with our lifestyle, like in our style, in our home? So it's like it's everything. And when you know this, it's going to help you to uncover what your brand is about because we're all different, right? Not everybody is the same. So the best part about branding is that you get to define who you are rather than the other way around. So you have to figure out like what do you want to do? What do you want people to think about you or feel when they interact with your brand? And you get to define that, but you have to put in the work to define it. So you should take some notes and ask yourself a lot of different questions, which we're going to get into next. And quickly, what is branding photography? Because I want to just split these two. Branding photography is just a way that shows your personality and what your brand is about through imagery. So it can help you to share your story by using pictures with written word to communicate your message. So when you are strategic with those photos and you understand what your brand is, then you can, create really great, amazing content. And so the one thing that small business owners fail to do is not knowing what your brand is about. So when you start your business, usually it's like, I have an idea. I'm just going to start. I'm going to slap together a website and then put all this effort in trying to get a logo, but you never really thought about defining what the brand is about. Okay. So, this is why like sometimes you get lost on what your purpose is. And so, like I said, you can't create content until you're clear about what your brand is about. So this is why I wanted to start with this today. So if some of you are struggling, um, asking yourself some questions to get you started today will help you to get more clarity in your brand. And so I put together a little pie chart here just to show you that like the main thing that you should really get clear about is like your values and your purpose for your business or what you're trying to achieve. So are you trying to be a thought leader? Are you trying to sell a product or a service? Knowing what the purpose is and what your values are is going to define you and also attract those clients who also believe in the same purpose and your values. So, and then once you know that, you can go into your messaging and then the photos and then the fonts and the colors. So, really getting that, the purpose and the value down is going to help your business, one, stand out and get get you the clients that you are really wanting to work with. Okay. So, how do we get that clarity? And like I said, you're going to have to do the work and answer the questions on your own because I can't answer these for you, but I can help you get a little bit clearer if you haven't asked yourself these questions. Now, sometimes we think the answer is really like easy, like, what do I do for my clients? I'm a photographer. Well, it's more than that. So, you have to go and dig deeper into what you do. And so you're going to have to journal it out or write it out on the computer and really define what it is that you do and like figure out what do you believe in? What are your values? Like those are the things that are going to connect you with the next person, right? So values can be I'm vegan or something. I'm not vegan, but if somebody is vegan and they hear that you're vegan, they might be like, "Oh, that person's vegan. I totally connect with this person because of that." Right? So those are different values that can help somebody to want to work with you versus somebody else. Okay, so it's little things like that that can really make somebody decide to work with you or not work with you. And then what makes you unique? And that's the hard one. And so, you know, it's a lot of self-discovery when it comes to building a business. So you're going to have to think about like what is it that makes you unique? And it may not be that easy and obvious for you to know what it is, but asking a friend or a family member or somebody that you've worked with, like what was it that you liked about me or what made you choose me over somebody else? I know it's kind of hard to ask these questions, but if you can like get to the heart of it, it's going to help you to know like what is different than your competition down the road, right? So, do you guys have any questions about this? Like, does that seem like easy for you to understand? I'm trying to make it as easy and clear for you to like start with. But it goes so much deeper than this, but I'm just trying to like start like kind of like with the surface level and just let you get started if you haven't done this kind of work before. So, all right. So, your goal as a business owner is to build trust with your audience for them to feel like they can invest that time with your business, right? So, getting them to believe in what you're doing and, feel like they are your friend is going to help them to want to like work with you. Um, so when I talked about purpose, this is also kind of a hard one too, because like, the only person that can define this is you. So you have to know what is your purpose. And what is the purpose of you starting a business, right? Do you want to earn more money? Are you trying to leave your job? Are you selling a product or service? Like, what is it that you want to do with it? Because once you know what you want to do, it makes it easier to get yourself from A to Z. So knowing what outcome you want to have is going to help you with defining your brand, right? So my purpose of my business is, one, I work with entrepreneurs. I take their photos, but I also realize that I want to help empower and inspire other women to show up for the business so that they can also live a life where they're earning money and not having to rely on somebody else. And that's really the ultimate goal for me, is to empower you guys to you know get out there and get your business going. So I was once there starting at 0, and it's not a nice feeling to feel, like, completely lost and alone, and I never thought that, like, when I started my photography business that I would be doing this today, teaching you guys about this, but I really do believe that this is, like, really important nowadays, especially since we are in such a digital space. Everybody has a personal brand and will have one, even your pets. So it's just going to be the way it is. So why not start now? So this is the foundation of your brand. When you kind of figure out all of these questions that I gave you, it's going to help you to form your personal brand, right? There's other things that you can do as well when it comes to your brand, but we're starting here with the branding part, um, so that you can start understanding like your brand values, what your purpose is, and always revisit this. This is something that you can always go back to again and again, because I know how easy it is to get lost when you start something and you keep going. And then you kind of are like, oh, what am I doing? I'm finding that I'm falling out of love with what I'm doing. So go back to that, right? So like I said, you cannot skip this part. Okay. When you start a business, you cannot skip this part. You can start your business plan, you can have an idea of how much money you want to make, how many clients you want to have. But if you don't know who you are at, your clients are going to be, what problems you're solving, and all this stuff, you are going to continue to feel lost. Okay. This is what's going to happen. You won't know how to speak to your customers because you won't really know what problems you are solving for them. And you probably won't get booked because you're confusing people if you are not having the right message. And then you'll probably stay stuck not taking action and just like waiting for things to happen, right? Um, it can be paralyzing sometimes when you're like, I don't know what the next step is. So just know that like having that clarity in your business is going to make a huge difference. And you won't have enough content to grow your visibility because you won't really know what kind of content you need to make because you don't know the brand foundation. Okay. And this is the one that you really don't want. You don't want this to happen. You'll continue to bring in the wrong clients. How many of you have had horrible clients and you wonder what happened? Why did this happen? Like I've had it once and I was really shocked when it happened, but there were a lot of red flags that came up and I should have followed the flags. But I didn't, and now I know like if this happens again, I know I can divorce the client. So you want to bring in the right clients that love what you do, who believe in you and like want who want to work with you, right? So when you are really clear about your brand, you will bring in the right clients and also reflect the wrong clients. So what would be red flags? Ooh, okay. Well, the only thing I can give you an example of is that I'll just tell you the story of what happened to me. I had a client um, it was a potential client. It turned into a client, But she contacted me for photos, and then she continued to insult my work and told me everything that was wrong with it. And that she used to be a photographer too, and um, but still wanted me to take her photos. That was a red flag. Somebody who insults you and totally just, you know, pushes you down is not the right client. That was a huge red flag. So anybody who is, telling you how bad your work is, or what you're doing is wrong, you can actually see the red flag there because you know it's not going to go well later. Is that a good enough like example? That's what happened to me. And so I knew that when I had this happen, I had to go back to my systems and see, like, where did I drop the ball? Did I not educate the person enough ahead of time? Or what was it? It was a referral from somebody who knew me, and that I couldn't really control. So, but when you see those red flags, you can actually be the one that says, you know what, I don't think this is going to work out. But I was actually not strong enough to stand up for myself, and I went through the whole ordeal with a lot of pain. I actually went through with the photo shoot, and she still complained, and she still didn't even want to pay for things, even though I told her in advance that it was supposed to be paid on a certain day. All of these things. It just turned into a nightmare. And I don't really like to talk about, like, my nightmare things, but this is what happened. And so, when we do get those red flags, we have to listen to our gut and stop it from happening before it happens. But I had to learn the lesson out of the whole thing. So I can laugh about it now, but it wasn't funny when I was going through it. So, okay. So when we are clear about what you do, you are going to attract your dream clients. You will. And it's all learning lessons and trial and error with business in general. So nobody really knows exactly what they're doing, but you can take just the steps to start getting there, and you are going to have your own lessons, your own journey of what you're going to experience in your business. And those are things that you can help somebody else out with in the future. If you are like a coach or something, these are things that will help you in the future, your story. um, so these are different ways that you can attract your dream clients. So once you know all of the questions that I asked earlier, you'll know what to create for them. So you want to show yourself in action, like some behind the scenes footage of you working, because people love to, like, see the behind the scenes of your life and in your business. It builds connection. It allows people to DM you, talk to you about what you do, and even like showing results, like um, testimonials. If somebody's really happy with your work, screenshot it, share it on your website or share it on your social media. This is a great way to attract people who are like kind of questioning your work but don't know if they want to invest yet. This will help them to say, okay, this person's giving results, I trust this person. And then you can talk about like what you sell, what you do, because if we don't tell people like what we actually do or sell, nobody's going to really come out and just be like, I want to buy this. So you need to sell and tell people, but you don't always have to sell. So there are ways to get people to buy your products without you selling, and that's really kind of just showing the behind the scenes. That's kind of selling. And so you want to get these people to go on a journey with you, and show them like that they are a part of the process as well. So these are just different ways that you can start attracting clients. I do this on my Instagram. I show results. I do show the behind the scenes, and this helps. I don't know if any of you are doing any of this stuff, but I think it makes a big difference. So, yeah. And then show people your personality as well. I don't have like this TV personality that some people do. I find that my my life is kind of just chill and boring. there's not a whole lot happening, but um, you still have to just show up for the people who are there, who want to know more about you, because they'll still relate to you, even if you feel like your life is boring. But just show your personality. And there's always like little quirks and things that people do that you may not even notice, that people are like, oh, she does this thing, I really like that about her or him. So don't be afraid to show up and show your personality. And so this was a big question that a lot of you had, which was, how do I show up authentically? And this is kind of like, it's not really an easy thing to answer, but really it's ultimately just being yourself and showing who you are as a person. So it is the way you speak, it is the way you dress, it's the way you show up for people. And it's your beliefs, the way you talk. So like right now there's a lot of stuff happening with war, right? People are sharing about that, or your beliefs about like um anything really. It can be anything and somebody will relate to it, right? And that is a part of your brand. So just know that like you're going to connect with people by just being you, sharing what you feel like passionate about. And and it's also the experience that you give people. So for instance, like if you think of a high-end restaurant, it's super expensive to go and eat at a very like at a three-star restaurant, let's say. Your bill is going to be about $1,000, right? But you go there for the experience. Why? Because they open the door for you. They have like this beautiful display. The chefs are all lined up in the kitchen. They're looking at you and actually saying hello. Everything is super detailed. And that's when you get these experiences that people are willing to pay for. Okay. So think about like those experiences that you give other people when they're working with you. And then it's your vibe, right? It's the way that people are drawn to you. So this is part of how you show up authentically, and it's there's no right or wrong way to do it. And I think that everybody is just so afraid to be themselves, but that's really like what is the thing that makes you unique, is being you, right? So I hope that that answers your questions. I know a lot of people had this question, so I felt like I'll just put this in at the end with branding, because it is a little bit of all of this, is understanding who you are as a person and how you can work with the people that you want to work with based off of your beliefs, based off of how you see your future and stuff. So this is it. Okay. This is what I think is authentic. And it's also not being somebody that like, don't be somebody that you're not, right? So it's so easy to get caught up with like social media and seeing other people having this kind of lifestyle that you think is what you want, but in reality, your life isn't that way, right? And either you have to make it up and be that way, or you just own what you are as a person, and your life. So I hope that helps you guys think about showing up authentically, whatever that means to you. So yeah. So, and I just want to say that your personal brand is a living and breathing thing, just like you. Like I said, it is your lifestyle, it's you. So when we learn to just accept ourselves and learn to know everything about ourselves, it's going to help just propel your brand and feel more confidence in yourself. And just remember that your brand doesn't get built overnight. It's actually something that takes time to build. So it's something that you can't just like slap things together and say, okay, it's done. It's something that you're always discovering. And it's form like it's just like life, your journey. It's evolving, right? Every day there's something different that happens. And it's the same thing with your brand, right? So you're like little by little, you're chiseling away and finding the answers to who you are and what your brand is. And you'll slowly start to build it, and it'll start to come together, and you'll start to see it come to life. So this is day one for branding. I didn't want to overwhelm you with too much information about like the branding part, because it takes a lot of time to think about these things. Yeah, It is evolving, and so are you. And as a business owner, or a thought leader, you are also figuring it out as well. So it's evolving with you. And so just know that like the branding is more than the fonts and the colors, like I said before through that graphic, the chart. It's it's like everything. So it's really the heart and soul of who you are. And this is where you can get started when it comes to brand building. So I hope this kind of clears up anything, any questions. I don't know if any of you want to ask me anything personally or while we're still here, but this is basically it. And now we're going to get to your homework. So I didn't want to make it like too drawn out, but I want you to just take a self portrait. Okay. I want to see where you guys in your self portrait journey. I want to see just any selfie. Take a self portrait. I don't want to see a selfie that you've taken before. I want you to think about this. And it doesn't have to be taken today. It can be taken tomorrow or over the weekend because you'll still have the weekend to do everything. I will pick the winner on Monday. So you have time to do this. But I just wanted to see where you are first and then kind of see you evolve as we do the next days. So tomorrow is all about camera confidence, and it's about how to get started with taking your photos. So this is where we're going to next. But I want to see where you are with your self portraits now. So, but yeah, do you guys have any questions? Do you want to know anything else? How to get started? Was there anything that you think I missed? Let me know. Just ask me now while we're still on the call. I'll wait. If not, then this will be the end of our chat. Unless you guys have any questions, I can answer them live. But you can always ask more questions later. I put the link in the chat, and there's also another link in the Facebook group. I can put it here again. I think it's this one. Yeah. There it is. Hi, Anna. How are you? But yeah, so if you don't have any questions, that's fine. You can always ask in the chat in the group later if you want to. But I think just starting here, asking yourself all these different questions to get you a little more clarity in your business is going to help you get started with the branding side. Okay. I'm just going to wait a little bit because there is a delay in the messages, I think. Okay, good. So then we'll call it a day. Tomorrow we'll start at 3 again, and it'll be all about self portraits, how to get camera confidence, and taking your pictures. I think this will be a really fun one too. So awesome. All right. Well, then we'll see each other tomorrow. And if you have any questions, shoot me a DM or something. All right. See you guys later. Bye.